welcome at Political Show, Count the Political Times. Today is the Season 5, Episode 5, the Season 5 finale. Before start the show, I want to hit the like button and subscribe to my show. Today on the show, we're going to talk about lots of political agendas and topics. And let's now start. Now, as you all know, President Joe Biden managed to get his COVID relief bill surpassed. Now he is now at the moment is traveling around the country to promote the bill, trying to inform people what they are getting from the bill. It's something that the Obama administration did not do and which Biden administration is doing. And it's important that people know what they are getting. And also the President Biden does hope he can make many of these things permanent, like childcare and things like them. He wants to make them permanent. And that would be wonderful for the people. But to make those things permanent, he must first tell the people about it. And that's what President Joe Biden is doing. And as you can see, he is working extremely hard. And there is no doubt this could be one of his biggest achievements yet. There is no questions. Now, staying with the Biden administration, another major crisis is in the Mexican-American border. Now, as we all know, the crisis it's not a crisis, it's an issue. You see, the crisis was when the Trump administration started doing all the inhuman activities. But this administration was getting penalized, being kind. But this is the reality. The US government cannot stop from people coming to the border at all, because those people want to give their kids and their children a better future, and you really can't blame them for it. And that's the problem. They will always make that dangerous journey, whether we tell them do not do it or not. When President Joe Biden said don't come, what he meant by that is that the country's immigration system is broken. There is no proper immigration in the United States. As a result, if you come to the Mexican border, well, you're going to be stuck. And if kids come without their parents, they will be stuck in the camps. And that is the reality until they get asylum. And I get the point. But whatever the message, what President Biden to say, for the people who come to the border, this is more welcoming than it's ever been. And that's the reality about this. And that's a fact. This is the thing though. It's important to see that the Biden administration is not calling a crisis, but imagine who are trying to say this is a crisis. It's the Republicans, the same administration who did inhuman when it comes to policies. That's something you must consider when it comes to immigration. Now, of course, immigration can something that both the parties can work. But I'm not so sure the Republicans are in a mood to work things together, so you know. Now, one of the major factors, another major, is the shooting in Atlanta, when eight victims were dead in a shooting in 3 spas. Now, out of 8, 6 of them were Asian American women. That sort of builds a point. Now, the spokesperson for the police says that the crime is not racially motivated. Instead, it's a sex addiction. You know, I want to say this very delicately. I do not care with the shooter. The shooter killed 8 people. That's what matters to me. And that is wrong. And you can't say the shooter had a bad day. If everyone has a bad day, everyone can go keep on shooting at their place. That doesn't work that way. So according for the spokesperson, then he had a bad day. You know what? Everything has a bad day. Terrorists had bad day. That is the point. And Asian Americans are facing tremendous issues in the United States. And violence against them is up more than 150%. If you think about this, these are fueled by politicians. Like Republicans are calling the Kung flu and things like them. The reality is, if politicians keeps doing this, then I wouldn't be surprised if a person takes a gun. And remember, I'm doing this. I wouldn't be surprised even for a second. That is the reality. Now, moving on from that, I want to touch down something. I want to talk about the COVID-19 pandemic. I haven't talked this about in a while. The United States have vaccinated 22% of its population, and that is a tremendous achievement. At least one portion, at least one. And that's brilliant from the US, from the United States. They're finally catching up from where they should be. And the death toll is significantly down, and there is a light end of the tunnel. But some people does not seem to be thinking that way. Like in Texas, the mask mandate has been taken out. Some states are not even mandating masks anymore. But look, to be really fair, even if you mandate masks, some people won't still wear them. So something to consider. But you can't take restrictions off when you see the tunnel end of the light. That's the reality about it. And of course, talking about foreign policy, US President Joe Biden called Russian President Vladimir Putin a killer. Now, this could be the beginning of major escalation between two nuclear superpowers. But I strongly believe words should not make these two leaders angry at all, because I believe these two countries must work together end of the day. Two are the most powerful countries in the world. If they start fighting, the world balance is pretty much in shaky situations, and we do not need that. I can assure you, we don't need that. Now, my last topic I want to cover, this could be rather controversial, I would rather say. Now, the Vatican has cleared out the fact that homosexuality is a sin. I'm going to say this. People look at religion for inspiration, not asking what's sin or not. Then if you're thinking about every religion has some sins, that's something to deeply consider. And look, I respect the Vatican significantly, but they should not tell such things as that it breaks people's hearts. Because everyone deserves to be loved by God, and they do hope for that, they hope for that. But if unfortunately it doesn't, you shouldn't be looking for it. And I think it's already confirmed. The Vatican is old-fashioned as any political is. And that's the point end of the day. So thank you very much for joining me on the show. Hit the like button and subscribe to my show.